Welcome to Friday Takeaway. I'm Nadia Hassan. She's Charlotte Chong. Charlotte, it's actually a very, very short week again. I mean, I suppose a lot of people maybe would have taken off this Friday, so we can say anything we want today, but we won't. Unlike somebody who's our top international news, because we are still talking about the Donald. He continues to go to war with his own administration.
So what happened was, since he takes over on January 20th...
It feels years ago, doesn't it?
I know, right? News portal covered with his news. And not just Donald Trump himself. I think the whole family have issues with the whole world.
Yeah, exactly. It seems to be that way, right? Because he went to war with his own administration. He went to war with the media. Basically said that they didn't cover anything, in which they came out and said, yes, we actually did. But the big thing, of course, as we went into recording, was that the Federal Appeals Court has denied him. Because, of course, he did that immigration ban, travel ban, which then the court set aside and say, look, we're not allowing it. He went to court again, they appealed, and then they said, no, we're still not allowing it to go through. And because of that, the Donald got very angry and tweeted in all caps, "See you in court." But
our nation's safety is at stake.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
what he said.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's saying "see you in court" to the court.
Yeah.
So he's oh, never mind, whatever.
But his wife too. His wife Melania Trump is also suing British newspaper for $150 million on an article by the Daily Mail, which she actually claimed that it deprived her chance to launch a lucrative brand of clothing.
You know what's interesting though? Well, it is the Daily Mail, so you have to take it with a pinch of salt. But do you know that Wikipedia is actually not allowing you to cite Daily Mail anymore as a source? They call it unreliable. Strange, right? Interesting.
Yeah.
So then he also went to war with the department store Nordstrom because his daughter got dumped by them, let's put it this way, but they already said that her sales were slowing, they were not going to carry it anyway. But then he tweeted from the official presidential account in personal interest. That's crazy. It's like our PM Najib tweeting about, you know, his second cousin's keropok stall in the middle using the administrative account. And made it worse, Trump's blonde person, Kellyanne Conway, actually also defended it in an official government capacity, saying, go buy Melania's things. What is this?
I think he's maximizing all channels to attack.
That's a nice way of putting it. It's not really maximizing. It's a conflict of interest. So let's put it that way. Anyway, so if we go on to local news, he's going to keep the news for a while. Second Finance Minister, Dato Sri Johari Abdul Ghani, he says reforms and institutional developments to strengthen Malaysia fundamentals have been put in place. What other thing that was interesting was that everybody's complaining about the price of gas, well, petrol, and he said that there might be a ceiling.
Like what you say, Dato Johari actually said that Malaysia is a highly open economy which is exposed to external developments, but he said with experience from previous economic trials and well-diversified economy, it will be able to overcome challenges.
What about the petrol? What do you think?
We will see next week. We will see. Probably more news will be coming up next week.
Well, we'll have to see. MITI Minister Dato Sri Mustafa Mohamad also said export is expected to grow between 2 to 3%. I honestly don't know what these people are reading. They seem to be more on the optimistic side. But if you want to talk about the ringgit, Bank Negara has also eased some of the pressure on the currency. They are allowing some USD RM trade. Remember, because of this non-deliverable offshore and everything, they were actually trying to keep a lid on it in a way that didn't spook people, which didn't really work. But yeah, it's been imposing restrictions. Now it's allowed a little bit more leeway.
Now, a little bit on the corporate news, Bina Darul Dalaman plans to launch about 1.2 billion GDP of projects this year, mainly affordable units.
Apparently, they're going out of their state of Kedah for the first time. They're actually going to Perak.
That's
so
good.
That's going
to
be
see more affordable units all over the country.
Less than 500,000. Do you think that's affordable though?
Probably not in that state, probably for people from Klang Valley.
Oh, maybe. Okay, so moving on actually quickly to like Bursa. It is, of course, like we mentioned, again, another short trading week. But we did say 2 listings with very different fates. Kip REIT didn't actually set the world on fire because they actually closed like 0.5% down on their first day. So Dinamik did better, and when I mean did better, I mean they went up to 2%.
But we're going to talk more about Serba Dinamik later. Now, talking about listings, right? Maybank Investment Berhad said they are slightly bullish on the listing of IPOs this year, 2017, with healthy pipeline for local IPOs this year. But however, Bursa Malaysia said different story. They say that amid a slowdown in IPO activities, they are trying to introduce a new market to provide SMEs greater access to the capital market. I wonder if they are allowed, to list all these SMEs.
Well, it depends. If you fit the listing criteria, you can list your apparently cabbage business, if that's what you are. As long as you fit the criteria, you can list almost anything. It's just a matter of where the criteria kind of is. But the fact is, this year should see some big listings, the biggest of which, of course, is EcoWorld. We have a colleague who's very eagerly asking us all the time about when it's going to list, and we don't really know when, but we'll have to see. But of course, there were a couple of earnings this week. The one I want to talk about is actually Maxis, because Q4 earnings rose by 7.7%. They said, of course, about an explosion of data. It's still going to be a tough time. Actually, when we saw the video of Morten Lundell, he actually did say, you know, it's going to be a bit much of the same. I think people are just battening down the hashes. But how was the KLSI doing this morning?
KLSI was traded at 1,697.02 points at 10 o'clock this morning, up about 0.5%. So it's still pretty optimistic if you compare with last Friday's closing at 1,685.01 points.
Okay, so we'll just move on quickly to actually the stocks, and we just mentioned this actually. We talked about Serba Dinamik. They're an engineering solutions group. Up today about 0.66% because they actually listed at 150. Okay, I've been very public about this. You know, if you have really high premiums on the first day, I really don't like it. I don't say I don't like it. I think it's a good sign you didn't price your IPO right. But too low also means, you know, you don't give it any room for excitement. But it is the biggest listing in 19 months, 584 million ringgit. It had actually had a net profit of 44.7 million for its third quarter.
I think it's still pretty early to look at how the performance of this stock, because they just got listed 2 days ago, and this is actually their second day of trading. Now, biggest contributor for its revenue was Malaysia, followed by Qatar and Bahrain, up as much as 9 cents on the first day of trading to 1.59.
Yeah, but then that's still, you want that pop, right, on the first day. What do you think?
Yeah, I think most of the companies, they want it, but sometimes, you know, in times like this, you cannot really expect that much.
Well, okay, Group MD and Chief Datuk Muhammad Abdul Karim Abdullah said despite the downturn in ONG since 2014, they are strengthening their financial position. Oil and gas, we'll have to see, because we didn't mention it, but oil prices did actually fall a little bit because there was a big increase in US crude inventories.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see whether or not they can sort of weather the storm. And of course, the other one is, okay, this one's going to be privatized, so I don't know how much trading you get in, but it's an all-time high of 167 because Rex Industries, they received a mandatory takeover offer from MD Dharmendran Kuranam and his and his private vehicle, Diamond Taipan.
I always have that difficulty pronouncing his name. Offer price is at 1.65 ringgit a share, totaling 67.44 million. And this was actually after Dharmendran and Diamond Taipan, the private vehicle, upped their stakes to more than 33%.
Have you seen this food? I mean, I saw the logo, and I'm very... It looks really familiar to me, but I'm not really sure that whether I bought any of their stuff. But
probably we have seen it printed in some of the snacks before.
Yeah, but of course, offer price is 165. Currently, it's trading at 167. Whether or not they'll up the price, I mean, it usually happens after a takeover. Yeah. But it really depends, because you know they say this 165 is based on the 5-day volume weighted average price of 155. So unsurprising that people drive it up. Whether they will actually succeed, you know, still remains to be seen.
So net profit for the 3 months ended December 31st, 1.77 million, which is not that bad. Revenue was at 35.26 million ringgit. Okay,
so we'll just finish up with what's going on for the week ahead. Actually, to be honest, it's still massively quiet as far as I can see. You did mention his travel ban. I bet you the Donald will do more of this next week, including his press call, who apparently he had a press sec who defended it. You know, he said it's okay, our president can defend his family using official channels. I'm like, never mind, whatever, man. It's like, I'm not American, I don't care, but yes, it's
we'll
just
see
weird.
More news next week, lah.
Yeah, definitely. And the government is also studying the option of setting the ceiling price, as you said.
I hope they will do that.
We hope they'll see, but we'll have to see about that. And of course, we'll see more earnings, and the market will actually have its first full week. So hopefully everybody is back from Chinese New Year. That's all from us all today. If you actually want more in the news, of course, the Edge Markets is always there for you. Pick up a copy of the Financial Daily today, and of course the new issue of the weekly is out tomorrow. I'm Nadia Hassan, she's Charlotte Chong. Have a good weekend, guys.